Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Important Nothings, a name that we did not really have until after the first episode. So good on me. It's our little actual Good Society game. I barely know how to run these because it's like I haven't had to teach anybody how to use patronymics, and teaching people the correct form of Mr. and Miss address is it's just a hollow shell of the rich tradition of Russian patronymics. So rather than blather, I'll introduce our cast, starting with someone I play with regularly, and that is an absolute delight, as is his character. So let's welcome Preston, who is playing Ella Nora du Maurier, our, because you gotta give it the British pronunciation, our heir.
Hello, everyone. My name is Preston, and yes, I'm playing Eleanor, and she is trying to recover her reputation after a bit of a downturn, and so she is playing by the rules last game. We'll see if that continues this time around, and you will see me, as the game goes on, continue to put on makeup because I'm experimenting. You probably won't be able to tell the difference because this is a shitty camera, but go team. Makeup.
In the game of heirs, you either win or you end up having to, ask your relatives to give you a place to live. So let's next go to someone I have the pleasure of interacting with more often lately, and the pleasure of interacting with their character. So let's welcome to Liam, who's playing Lieutenant Albert Dunwoody, our new arrival, and a true officer and gentleman who is only at sea while he's on land.
Oh, brilliant. Yes, I'm Liam. I'm playing Lieutenant Dunwoody, and who very proudly put his foot in his mouth multiple times last session and is going to be trying to navigate the shark-filled waters of society in his way to get back on ship or something he understands.
Well, I mean, we wish him well, but I'm sure it'll turn out all right. So next, let's go to someone I got to play with just this week, and they were a cat, and I was a fierce, aged lesbian. So it's really kind of playing, just playing according to type.
Yeah, when you put it that way.
Yeah. So let's please welcome Talia, who's playing Persephone Dabridgecourt, our meddler, and we should probably figure out if she has some kind of ancillary title, so whether or not we have to call her my lady or not.
Oh gosh, probably. I'm going to assume yes. Yes, my character is also trying to salvage their ruined family's reputation, and is desperately doing whatever they can to polish off their name, make themselves look better in the eyes of society. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens next. Maybe I can pull out some family members who owe me a favor or something.
Well, you are the meddler, so and the cool thing is all the gossip. You just get it wrong a lot.
Perfect.
So next, someone who played their very first RPG session, I think, last week, and was not frightened away by us enough to be generous enough to come back. So please let's welcome Manny, who's playing Marmeduke Huckleberry, our sociolite. That was a late season change there. So yeah.
Well, thank you, and it was fantastic. I really enjoyed myself, my very first game. But today, I'm very curious how Marmeduke proceeds to on his goal. Seems like the plot thickens for him. He's looking to score a titled young lady that will help him help his father redeem the family name. If you remember the premises, Marmeduke's uncle Marshall was single-handedly responsible for the death of Lord Nelson at High Seas. And as a result, his father is determined that Marmaduke should marry someone whose name carries a lot of weight in society. So hopefully, and Marmaduke is motivated enough to bag that money, the kitty of £10,000. So let's see if he's able to do that. Really interested to see what happens.
So what you're saying is Lord Nelson's actual last words was "put out that light," but they like kiss me hearty, right? Yeah, kiss me hearty.
Yes.
My name is Kat. I go by she, her. My gender is spinster, but my character's isn't. I am playing Lucy O'Shannon, the daughter of an Irish ne'er-do-well who was plucked from her shopkeeper's existence in Dublin to become one of the great actresses of the current London stage. Mostly for her look good and be somewhat funny parts, but then she played Celia in As You Like It, and suddenly people think she can act. Probably she can. We'll see. Okay, so when last we left off, we had a delightful party at Nora's house, wherein there were misunderstandings. We practically saw Lieutenant Dunwoody be press ganged into dancing on a number of occasions, and mostly set the stage delightfully. So what we need to do now is rumor and scandal. Cool. So how does this going to work? Let's explain how rumors and scandals work. Et voila. So rumor and scandal. So rumors are things that people are talking about. And there's three conditions a rumor can be. A rumor can just be a rumor, which means that people talk about it, but it's idle gossip. It's, they bring it up in drawing room conversation, but no one has staked anything important on the belief in the veracity of the rumor. A spread rumor means that it's widely talked about and most people are going to believe it's true. If a rumor has been put on this list and is not spread, then in the next round it will start to fade. And if it doesn't get spread at that point, it will vanish entirely. So people just were talking about it. Nothing came of it. Life goes on. Now, in our case, we happen to have two rumors that are already spread. Marmeduke thinks that Lucy is selling blackmail secrets to someone. This is probably true. And Nora has publicly snubbed Persephone by not inviting her to a ball, which also seems to be true. So what we might actually do some maintenance here. You'll notice that the spread rumors have that little checkbox. What that means is that you can use them to actually act like a resolve token. In fact, if you use the rumor, you get a resolve token, which you can then do to make something true, like the rumor, or prove it false. So we kind of had both of these come in to the point where they were basically confirmed. So does that sound right about it? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear these out. And we're going to give, God help us all, we're going to give Marmeduke a resolve token here, because he was the one that used the rumor about Lucy. I don't remember who confirmed the rumor about Nora. Was it Nora? No. Oh, I think it was technically Helena, but
Helena Persephone. I would say.
I'm gonna technically connections can in fact get resolve tokens, but in this case, I think. Oops, that's not the right person. Is it? Yeah, it is. God, in this case, I think we'll give it to Persephone, who also didn't have all the resolve tokens. So there you go. All right then. So the way this works is we will each take a turn doing rumors. If you like, I can call on people on order, or you can just shout them out. Everybody will get 2 turns to do something. On your turn, you can either create a rumor, or you can spread a rumor that has already been created. So if somebody has a good idea, I invite you to start.
We just enter in the spreadsheet. Is that right?
Yeah, you can totally just enter it in, or I'll type it, or somebody will type it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Either way, I've done it both ways. People can type their own rumors, or you can call them
Are
out.
there any rumors about Marmeduke's rakish qualities, or is that kind of fact enough not to be rumor?
No, well, you see, the difference is people might say something like, I understand that Marmeduke is a bit of a rake, but if somebody comes to you and says, I've heard the most juicy gossip about Marmeduke and X, that's a rumor.
Ah, okay.
Or, or something that he's done that's like, concrete enough that you can, remember, the whole point of this is to have stuff that we can use to bring into play as ideas that we're like, rumors should kind of be looked at as, this is something I'd like to see potentially in the game, But you can also just, so like one of the best books on role-playing I ever read was a book called Play Unsafe by Graham Walmsley, which is about using improv techniques in role-playing. And an important improv technique is sometimes it's okay to be obvious, right?
Oh.
Will the heroine and the hero kiss in this scene? Well, probably. There may be a better idea too, but there's almost never a penalty for doing the obvious thing.
So then my rumor is that Lieutenant Dunwoody mistakenly proposed to Lucy, thinking she was Persephone. Does that make sense, or is that too hard to parse?
Makes sense.
People who are in the vicinity and maybe having some disturbance between them. Yeah, it's not the word I'm looking for, but you know what I'm talking about. We're playing telephone here.
Yeah.
That's how it came out in the end.
So that's my rumor that I will spread, or not spread, but I say.
Yeah, let's try and do this in order, because we have new people and we're trying. We need to be kind. Cool. So that's you. I see that was you, Manny, who put the rumor about Celeste has left London because she was with child.
Yes.
That's interesting. Cool. Well, I will do as I so frequently do and take the coward's way out and spread the Bertie rule.
Funnily enough, I think I also have a Bertie rumor.
It's a new arrival. It makes it makes story sense that people are talking about him.
He's just not been seen since the ball, and apparently the family won't let him out anymore.
That would be your That would be Nora's family, right?
Right.
I think there is a rumor that Nora is jealous of Lucy spending so much time with Persephone.
Wow, yeah, okay. So Persephone is jealous of Nora is jealous.
Nora is jealous of Lucy for spending time with Persephone.
Got it.
Because Lucy's staying with Persephone for the season. And we used to be very close.
Nora totally used to call you Percy, didn't she?
Yes. Only my very closest friends call me that.
It's not a gender thing. It's an intimacy. That's not really helping.
We're intimate friends.
you can just play off the differences between Austin's English and ours. Like condescension meant something completely different. Not completely different, but like it was actually considered almost it was not a automatically negative connotation. Like I know somewhere in Pride and Prejudice, the attitude of somebody is described as showing great condescension because she was very kind to someone well below her station. I just never know.
I have a rumor to spread.
Oh, please go right ahead.
Yeah, about Talia's uncle, or
Persephone's uncle.
Persephone's uncle. What's his name again?
We haven't given him one. He's just Duke Davenport.
Davenport.
Yeah.
Duke Davenport is running a gambling circuit and is defrauding people, and he's actually responsible for leaving Beau Brummel penniless.
Oh my god!
And the king is, or the regent is really cheesed off at him because it was his good friend who's now in exile, is left with no money.
Dragging my good name through the mud. Merely a rumor, though. A scandalous rumor. A scandalous, scurrilous rumor.
Well, we shall see.
We shall see if someone spreads it. I'm just going to spread the other rumor about me. So.
Damn it! That was my rumor to spread. I'm staying there. I saw her.
Then you can spread the rumor about yourself.
All right. I'm not being let out. They're not letting me out.
We have to train you first.
So
actually, that's actually not true. I'm not letting myself out. I'm terrified, but it sounds better if they're not letting me out.
So I think that leaves us with Talia and Preston. You have not yet done your second action.
Can I start another rumor?
Oh, absolutely. Please go right ahead.
Okay. I think that since Nora and Marmeduke spent so much time dancing the other night, there's a rumor about them planning to court one another, so that we have the opportunity for one of you to say, have you heard what they've been saying about us? And
I had to use that George because we don't really have a year, so I'm not sure if he's regent or king. I think he became king in 1811. I was looking this up the other day. Preston, you're the only one who hasn't done a second one. Please stop me. Please shut me up from creating blooper reel material.
I've been thinking about it, going back and forth between a few ideas. I think the most, just to create drama, that something about between Marmaduke and Lucy, that they got a little heated at the ball and parted on bad terms. Just because they had a bit of an intense conversation and people could have mistaken the tone or taken it exactly the right way.
I'm going to garnish this one. Here's your garnish. 'Tis a pity we can't spread that one. But we can't. We're out. Alrighty. So let me just stop sharing it. Okie dokie. That's rumor and scandal done. Relatively successfully. That was actually pretty good. So the best way I can introduce the epistolary phase is that I generally described it as the game's killer app. People don't believe me, and then they do it, and they go, oh yes, Kat, you're right. So in this, we may each player may compose up to 2 letters. They can come from your main character or your connection. You may also spend a resolve token to ask for a letter from either a main character or a connection. That counts against their allowance, not yours, but allowance of letters. You still got to spend the resolve token. So if you really want a letter for something to make something happen in the plot, you can ask for it. Letters can be as simple as a letter from Lucy to Marmeduke to the tune of "You Are an Utter Prat." They can be completely just block narrated out as like a letter inviting everybody to a ball and accept, or not saying anybody has to be a drama queen here, but or you can like actually compose the letter while you're talking. I don't like people to have to. There's no need to type things up. Some people, I understand, some people have that as their process, but generally speaking, you can just talk. So, with that in mind, the post office is now open. Remember that it's the recipient who pays. So, here will be your welcome to my TED Talk about about letter writing in this period. Because paper was expensive, it was actually taxed per sheet, and it also affected the cost of sending a letter. Not only were letters not generally in their own envelope, they were usually just folded up and then sealed, and then you would write the address on one of the folds. People used to do a process called crossing, which meant that you would write your lines, say, of left to right on the narrow side on the top. Then you rotate the letter and you'd write across it. Jane Austen was supposedly notorious for crossing her lines so frequently that the letters would become almost unreadable. So that's my welcome to my TED Talk about letter writing in this period. Anybody got a letter?
Yes. Kat, you wouldn't happen to know offhand how I'm supposed to address the Lord Admiral in my letter, do you? It's not "Dear Lord Admiral," certainly, is it?
Like, how in depth do you want to get? I'm sure there's probably a Right Honorable or something, but he's the Lord Admiral, so his Lordship
Yes.
Admiral. What's his name?
Yes, I'll correct address Lord Admiral.
There you go.
I am writing to inquire as to the status of my posting and how it is being advanced through the Admiralty. You will note that I have brought in the 2 most recent prizes from the French, and I am eager to return in any capacity that I may to His Majesty's Navy. I am currently residing in the town of B. Where are we? A. I'm currently residing in the town of A.
It's the town of H in that it's in the text. It's just hyphenated.
Yes. And can be ready to report to Southampton or any other location at a moment's notice. Mm-hmm. Yours respectfully, Lieutenant Albert Dunwoody.
Now, I'm going to be 100% with you. If you actually want that to go down like that, write a lieutenant or even a commander writing the Lord Admiral about in Ray, when are you going to promote me, is a gigantic breach of protocol. So I am happy to let you go ahead with that. What I would suggest you do is get rid of Babe in the Woods and take a resolve token for doing this.
Is there a way to ask about? I guess I'm not asking about a promotion, but I am asking about what am I doing? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Normally, you would write to you would apply to the Admiralty Board in London. You would just go by and see. It's almost like a temp agency, man. It's like you come by, like, say, you got anything for me, guys? They'd be like, no, we're giving it to actual captains. Sorry. But I kind of like that, even if it wasn't to the Lord Admiral, like just writing to the head of the Admiralty Board is
a terrible idea.
It is a horrifically bad idea if you have no political support, which apparently you don't.
I do not. What should I write down?
So what I would suggest you do is just delete Babe in the Woods, so you lose that negative tag, and then give yourself another resolve token. So just add another check in your resolve line, yeah. Because basically you spent your own negative token tag against yourself.
Yep.
Really? At least you're not a Babe in the Woods now. Probably because you mentioned it to Captain Fitzwilliam and he slaps you up the head.
I think that Persephone is going to write her uncle. Requesting some funds. So I think it's just going to be, dearest uncle, I approach this season with great anticipation, knowing that there is so much work to be done to restore our family to its once proud place in society. To that end, by the end of this season, I intend to adopt an heir that is worthy of our name. To that end, I need to touch you for just like £1,000 so that I can get a ball going. Lovingly yours, Persephone.
Yeah, well, you potentially make do with just 100 quid.
That simply won't do. I need to hire new staff, which you have seemed to have they've all disappeared somehow under your watch. And this whole left wing needs to be redesigned if people are to attend a ball here by the end of the season.
Well, staff, I can give you staff from our club. They can, you can put them in livery uniforms and they can show up to your ball.
Since this is about restoring our good name,
I
think we need to do better. We need to do better than that, Uncle.
So that we'll call that a flurry of back and forth letters. And we'll stay there.
There's like exhausted pigeons or something flying back and forth.
Part of the fun of letters is that you get to say stuff and then people have to decide whether it's worth responding to with their 2 letters, or occasionally people wait until you've done your 2 letters and then they drop a bomb on you, which I've had happen to me multiple times. It's just been like, I will get you back.
Yeah, I use up as many letters as I need, of course, to get as much money as I can out of the old man.
So, Liam, I know you're not exactly hard up on these, but could I offer you a resolve token to write a letter as Michael O'Shannon to Lucy? No subject except in-ray screwing up everything you're trying to do.
Yeah, all right, absolutely. A warning. Could I get just a few bob to tide me over? The road warden no longer needs. I'm going into Scottish here. The road warden no longer needs as many fellows to pound sand. So I've had to go down to Knacker, and so now I'm cleaning up pig testicles, and I couldn't do that for too long. It's too much for me to bear, you know, me with the lumbago. So I just need a few bob to keep me head above water until this next weekend comes round, and I should be able to talk to Francis. You know Francis, he's our brother, and should be able to get more from him. But I know that you're down in whatever fancy place you are right now, and you wouldn't be down there if you didn't have a lot of money. And I know that the people down there are flush with cash. So you should be able to spare me a few, maybe a quid, maybe 2 quid. I don't know. Do as you see fit. And send it along with the letter. Otherwise, maybe I could come down and visit you. It's not too far. I would love to see you. It's been so long, and I'm sure I would be such a wonderful guest at one of the balls you go to. Loving you, yours, Pa.
So Nora writes a letter to Persephone, not to Percy. My dearest Lady Dabbage Court, I must confess it was a surprise to see you at the ball. I thought you might reject the invitation, but it was lovely to have you. My good friend Helena, of course you know her, she told me the most interesting story about your uncle, and I could scarce believe that it was true. Surely it cannot be. We simply must get together soon, only briefly, and discuss such things, and I'm sure you can clear the air. Affectionately yours, Nora.
Do I have a chance to respond?
You do have another letter. You can either respond by letter. It can be the letter you send could even be after we have had our brief encounter, and you could be responding to what was done in the encounter, and I can just yes and with it.
It's never used, but you can theoretically actually do a role-playing scene during a letter, which now makes me feel bad for shooting down Talia and Manny earlier. I forgot about that.
Oh,
Yeah, no, you can actually, if you're doing like a flashback and from a letter, you can like, it's sort of like, oh, when you came over to when Mr. Darcy came to visit us the other day, he yeah,
and then we're sitting with Mr. Darcy. Okay.
but my only caveat is that epistolary shit needs to be punchy, so it would have to be a shorter scene. But yeah, you can respond and exactly as Preston said. Point in a romantic comedy, it would probably be a very cold response.
Yeah. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm going to just address it. Nora, it was good to see you. And in need of company to while away the time in the droll countryside, I suppose. A meeting would be acceptable. Gosh, where's the word? Where would I tell us to meet? Probably somewhere really public.
You could.
At the fountain.
Yeah, like shall we promenade together? I think that's. I don't even sign it. Shall we promenade together? Question mark. And I seal it.
I have been that chick. She wrote me a letter. Everything's forgiven now, right? Lucy will write, Marmeduke. At the sign of the grapes, liberties of the Savoy, city of London, my dear Mr. Huckleberry. You will forgive me not delivering this news in person, but certain matters called me to London for a brief period of time to settle business endeavors. I have diligently searched for the Comtesse d'Aville, as you know her better, Miss Celeste Lefebvre. However, she does not seem to be at any of her normal haunts, including a rather difficult journey into the heart of the Drones Club one Friday night, the details of which I shall spare you.
Oh.
Know to what depths I was willing to expose myself on your as your agent. I shall continue to endeavor to discover the whereabouts of Miss Lefebvre and secure either the items or the assurances that they shall not be used in any fashion that would be unbecoming to the honor of yourself or to the good name of Miss Lefebvre. I graciously request the honor to remain yours, Lucio Shannon.
So can I respond, or I just basically just keep read the letter and just wait for the next dispatch or something?
I'm not sure. Have you written a letter yet?
No, I haven't written a letter. No.
Yeah, then sure, you could write a response. Absolutely.
And this is okay. I see. So I cannot say "my dear Lucy," can I? I'll have to say.
How intimate are we in letters? I don't know. I took the safe way and called you Mr. Huckleberry.
Okay, so I'll say, "Dear Miss O'Shannon, received your dispatch. Alarmed that you're not able to locate Celeste. She must be found at once. Help! Rescue! England's honor is at stake." Yours sincerely, Marmeduke.
For the honor of England.
Because we don't know what she's up to.
Typical English shopkeeper thinks the entire country revolves around him. Let's see. Liam and Talia have done 2, and the rest of us have done 1 each, I believe, is where the score stands.
Yes, but I did I actually do 2, or did I do
Yes,
one for
you
me and
did.
one for you?
Yes, you did, but like I said, it counts against your allowance, not mine. Everybody write Bertie now.
Eleanor, Eleanor, can you write?
I'm sorry, you're all out of letters. You are done, good sir. Go back to your room, please, and continue reading what I instructed you. But you do have that resolve token, Liam. That was the trade-off. So you do have.
Yeah, you've got 4 resolve tokens. We can all march to whatever tune you wish to call.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've only written 1 letter, right, Preston?
I have. I'm thinking about the other one.
Okay.
Oh. This would be from Marmeduke's father, who I'm playing, who is... Oh, you changed it to mother? Or am I missing them?
No, there's still Mortimer Huckleberry and...
Oh, you just created 3 people. That's what I was missing. All right. So yeah, this is from Mortimer to Marmaduke. I don't think he calls you Dukey. Son, I have just received news that you are perhaps thinking of courting your cousin, Eleanor. This might not be the most advantageous step for you, as she is currently somewhat disgraced in good society. I would urge you to rethink your choices and select a more suitable young lady for your courtship. If you need to discuss further, know that I will be visiting shortly, and we could certainly do so then.
Can I just keep quiet like I usually do with my dad's letters?
Indeed, indeed. Unless you really, really want to, you have 1 more letter, I believe. So if you really wanted to reply, you can, but you're under no obligation to ever reply to a letter.
Yeah, I guess Marmaduke just keeps quiet like he's learned the hard way. There's no point arguing with the old man. So he just doesn't respond.
Lucy writes, Bertie. My dear Lieutenant Dunwoody, in the hope that it would give you both pleasure and edification, I have inquired as to what it is that one is supposed to do while one is in the country. I have taken the liberty of compiling a list of said activities, which you may find useful. We have already done a rustic country ball in the grange-like estate of a local gentryman. So you may cross that one off on your list, but I'm sure we will have ample opportunity to revisit it. One could take a walk after church, after attending services, but between you and I, the sad division of cult would make that impossible and potentially unseemly for your career. One may perambulate around the country roads. It is too early for hunting, so we must eliminate that. I don't suppose you're a musical chap. It is potentially possible that you could call upon or be invited to such amateur concerts or theatrical recitations as are made in the country, though I fear you may find them a trifle unformed. However, I am informed that it is perfectly acceptable to take a gentle ride across the countryside, should the fit take you. Miss Davenport is more than generous enough to loan me a gray horse that, while I do not believe can be referred to by the fairy tale name of Palfrey, nevertheless is said to have a most attractive gait. It would, of course, be unseemly of me to schedule an assignation with you, but I will let you know that I do intend to ride on Thursdays when the weather is fine. Additionally, you may be intrigued to know that Miss Davenport's normal day to accept visitors is Tuesday afternoon. I beg most graciously the honor of remaining your friend, Lucio Shannon. Just leaves you, Manny. If you have a second letter, go right ahead. Otherwise, we could call your little exchange. Oh, we lost Manny.
Well, yeah, sorry. I think that Marmeduke is not a man of, because not accustomed to writing letters.
That's totally okay.
Vapid youth.
I think we've sown enough chaos in this epistolary phase. Cool. So, I didn't mention this last time because we were doing it by the book, and by the book, we must play an event chapter. That's what I was looking for. We must do an event chapter first. But there are, in fact, 3 different types of novel chapters one may encounter in a game of good society. The event chapter, we know that is a large event in public where many characters may cross paths. The other 2 are the rarely used split chapter, where 2 events are happening simultaneously, which is interesting narratively because it means some characters cannot be in both parts of the chapter. And I'll be honest, I've played a lot of good society. I think I've had one of those. that is possibly just due to a dearth of imagination upon my part. But the other form that's interesting is the visit chapter, wherein we each get the opportunity to have a visit with characters. So visits should be relatively short. I always say that. It's like, oh, we'll just do a visit chapter. We'll get through it real quick. But I promise they can be done quickly. So, does anyone have any ideas? I don't have any ideas. I think I lean towards visit chapters because I feel like that's the sine wave of this narrative. Is like we have the bomb, the event chapter to like set us on our path, and now we'll have chance to have many comic misinterpretations of events.
I'd love to do some visiting.
Yeah,
I think I've already got a visit sort of set up anyway.
Yeah, actually, we
cool to do some visiting.
We could definitely see that promenade with Nora and Percy, possibly after church. I mean,
of course,
because there's no sad division of cult between the 2 of you. I think I've set one of mine in motion to, just happen to have a nice ride, though theoretically I would require a chaperone, but practically we are talking Lucy here, so we don't need that. In any case, chaperone, it's never mentioned, but when those nice gentry ladies in Jane Austen novels would go out shopping, they'd have a footman following them. So
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Will Nora let me out on
Do you really
unaccompanied?
Do you really think that Miss du Maurier is capable of restraining an officer of His Majesty's Royal Navy?
Bertie, where are you going?
You probably don't even have to fashion a rope out of your bedclothes.
The other thing I would like to point, I actually like the idea of church into promenade, just because Bertie is what's the word? Father's a Quaker and mother was Presbyterian. So I am not sure about this whole Anglican business, so I might need to accompany Nora to wherever she goes to meeting. I don't really understand these sorts of things.
Meeting?
Oh, yes. Isn't it meeting? Do we not call it meeting?
No, they also don't just sit in silence and stare at each other.
Right. Or yell a lot and air their grievances. That's not a thing.
That greatly depends on what kind of Presbyterians you are.
No, I'm at the Quakers, but yes.
That's true. I forgot they do that too, don't they? Yeah. All right, so we definitely want to have. I'm happy for Lucy's visit to be with Bertie, and it sounds like I just want to know who's going to call the visit between Persephone and Nora. Is that Nora's visit or Percy's visit? It feels like it's Percy's visit because she seemed to be the one that was excited about it.
I'm excited about it.
All right, so that leaves Nora with a visit to her name, Bertie with a visit to his name, but it sounds like you have an idea about dropping in on church, and it leaves Marmeduke, who's just as a complete free agent to drop by anywhere, given his noted propensity to bull in the china shop his way through life, should be good.
Yeah, how about I chance upon Nora and Persephone walking, and I think maybe I could just join them, but then I see that they are
let's do this. We can have that scene. When that scene happens, feel free to offer a resolve token to suddenly appear out of the woodwork and throw a gigantic wrench into things, because that's definitely a resolve token kind of thing, I think. So it sounds like that's the one we got to start with. So a nice Sunday afternoon right after church, and
I have prepared myself so I'm dressed very sensibly, and of course for church, but I'm ready for a walk, a serious walk, because I intend to kind of get her huffing and puffing a little bit, and I'm quite athletic.
Do you have the 18th century version of Doc Martens on?
Basically. I've got a little walking stick, a very ornate, beautiful little walking stick that can open up into a chair also. but I'm ready for a serious hike. I don't know how you feel when you see me ready for a serious hike, but I'm waiting for you.
Well, Nora would have seen you before the service started, because, of course, entering the church is a big to-do in any society.
Yes.
Seeing people, greeting people.
I had somebody holding my extra items to the side for me. But yeah, as as we like exit the church, someone hands me my walking stick and like a cape, and like I'm ready to go.
Nora is dressed nicely. I get the feeling that she probably doesn't spend a lot of great time and care on how she looks. She's like, this is nice, it's good. Yeah, I will go with it. She can recognize pretty things, but she'd rather show off like this beautiful flower that she helped bring forth. That's her idea of beauty. Which also says that she is ready for anything outdoors at all times. So I feel like also that informed your dressing a bit. And we begin off. Would you rather walk through town, or shall we take to the country roads?
Oh, well, I thought that we could take the long way round, hike up the ridge since it's such a lovely day. We'd catch a nice view.
Oh, someone is quite excited to catch the air. Very well, let us, yes, take to the ridge.
That's what we're here for, isn't it? The air.
I was thinking to clear it, but certainly.
Well then, let's hear it.
Oh, right to the meat of it then. No, nothing of pretense. Well, very well.
You remember I was never much one for pretense, my dear. And I'm like power walking.
Regency era power walking.
Regency power walking.
Well, you know my friend, the Duchess of Coventry, who visited with us recently.
Yes, I know your friend.
And she told me some very interesting stories about goings on at court that involve your uncle. Such stories, and I will not repeat. I hope that you have not heard them. But
Oh, now you can't just say something like that and then not repeat them. What are they saying? Out with it.
the first story she told was not so uncommon, but that the king and your uncle were once very close. As close as we used to be, one might say. But that was not the most interesting part. The most interesting one was that he seemed to have developed an ailment of the rich.
Oh, well, you know my uncle. You met him, of course. You know.
I mean,
He
only
is-
briefly, but
briefly is enough to know that what they say about him is, of course, true.
so then is it also true that he has taken the wealth of your good name and squandered it away, and that you have been living these last few months off of credit?
So I am to take it that you brought me here to mock me, then? To hold
I must
this information over me, then?
I must confess, it does give me some. I believe the Germans have a word for it, Schadenfreude. But I'm not very well learned in German. I might be incorrect there. I would not deny what you say does not have some truth. But I do also feel that there is a part of me that still feels very fondly for you.
Oh,
And
please. Don't give me that. You've won. So you've won. You've uncovered my secret. I'm a penniless pauper now. And you're the belle of the ball. And look at me, I'll never be married. So good for you. You should at least relish in your victory.
I think you quite misunderstand. I do not relish this victory at all. I would not want to win simply by default.
So I think Manny, were you ready to jump in?
Yeah,
I
we're making
am.
a ruckus in the woods now. Or I don't know where we are, but we're out in the country making a
I'm just
ruckus.
trying to figure out who you should offer the resolve token to. I think to Persephone, because it's way more embarrassing for her.
Sure. How do I change that in the spreadsheet?
Oh, it's simple. We'll just give her one more, and we'll give you one less.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, Marmeduke has been telling these two ladies because he just basically wants to just have a chit chat, and he sees them and he's completely clueless, and he was going to offer them to take them to because it's boring country life, so he wants to pop to London and take them with him to a game of cards at the Drones Club, which is completely tone deaf and he's going to then realize towards the end of his, when he comes like huffing and puffing and says, "My dear ladies, I did see you and I wanted to offer you a ride in my coach to London because we have a very interesting game of cards and a night of revelry ahead of us at the Drones Club. And your dear uncle is hosting, Lady Persephone is hosting this event, and you must go with, both of you are invited to go with me." And then I realized that Persephone is like flushed and she's tearing up.
And red and like sweaty. And I look as if you've just interrupted something like extremely important.
And
then
Nora
I
is
say,
just stone-faced.
"You should ask Nora. She was always one for cards." And I just like
Oh
turn.
no, have I offended Lady Persephone, Nora?
Not at all. We were just discussing a difficult matter, but we can continue that discussion another time. Is Persephone actively walking away, or is
No,
she?
I like turn and like sort of adjust myself, and then I like open up my little cane, walking stick seat, and I sit down.
And I would certainly take you up on your offer, but if you would, I do think I need a few moments more alone with my friend.
Oh, by all means, ladies, I bid you adieu. Can I withdraw?
I just withdraw back into the countryside.
Or is it Homer Simpson going into the bushes?
Dissolving.
Lies make baby Jesus cry.
Oh my gosh.
And I think, how much time passes before one of us actually says something?
I'm ready to walk all the way up to like the ridge without saying much.
And throw
Unless
yourself
you
off?
say something. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I think, okay, we walk up to the ridge in silence. It is a splendid view.
Yes, I've always liked the country. I found that it offered some sense of freedom, and I like regard you.
To continue, Persephone, I might offer you an investment opportunity. You know, Captain Dunwoody is looking for a commission, and he has had a remarkable track record of bringing in quite a large sum on previous endeavors. It may behoove you to meet with him and speak about such matters. My cousin and I have been taking to him these last few weeks and training him as best we can. it is Captain Dunwoody gave a metaphor, I believe. It said, I was like taking the barnacles off of ships.
And I like say Nora, and I get like right up close to you. Maybe I like brush some hair out of your face gently. Pity does not become you. I'll solve this problem myself. And then I turn and start making my way back to society. Like tears streaming down my face as I turn away.
Nora
Wow.
turns out to the town, and that's the.
Well, that's what you get for, running up that hill.
Trying to switch places.
Yeah.
Push
Liam,
her off.
do you have an idea for a visit other than Lucy and Bertie go for a ride?
And Bertie's trying to get out, and he's wherever Lucy is. He wants to go there.
Because I was wondering
but-
if that would be your visit, and then I could go. But you're not off the hook, because I was thinking I maybe would go and pay a visit to me old Da.
Yes. Yeah, no, there has to be I also don't think we would be allowed to visit alone. You might not need a chaperone, but I do.
No, you don't. I do.
Well, I know, but for purposes of the story, not for the purposes of Regency or anything.
I know, but I am okay with. I'm okay with us meeting alone, because I kind of like that idea. So what I'll do is I'm slanderous, sycophantic. Damn it. Let me just see something. Can I use that? I'm just really low on resolve tokens. I would just spend it. And I'm like looking around, and I'm like trying to figure out a reputation tag that would work, and it wouldn't. But oh yeah, I know why. Yeah. So I'm gonna burn the Bertie mistakenly proposed to Lucy one. That's why nobody stopped me when they saw me going riding out. They're like, oh well, they have an attachment. So yeah, I'm out riding on this gray mare, which actually does have quite an attractive gait, and I run into you. Are you a good horseman?
I'm not terrible at it, but not good. They gave me the one that they say doesn't bite.
So since it's your visit, I'll let you set the scene of what it is if you want to.
I think Lucy is what do you call it? Trying to be polite and staying in one place for long enough so I can wrangle my horse into being on this particular part of the field. And it takes a little time.
For heaven's sakes, my dear man, if it would suit you better, we can dismount and walk the horses. It's good for them.
I suppose we could. I'm supposed to be better at this, you see. Advancement requires all sorts of different land skills that I don't have.
Have they started to include cavalry regiments into the Royal Marines? For I cannot see why it would be important for you.
Not that at all. It's this visiting thing. This ordinary discourse amongst social equals.
Well, thank you for the compliment. That's very generous of you.
Wait, are you not? Oh dear, have I done it again? Nora's not even in the room.
I don't think so. I mean, some would say that an actress and the daughter of an Irish shopkeeper is hardly the equivalent in gentility to a lieutenant in the Royal Navy.
But I rather think that people are who they make themselves to be. I mean, certainly, I followed my father's trajectory. I wouldn't have left York. Anyway,
I have been to York once.
I'm so sorry.
I understand your eagerness to depart. I had not assumed that it was possible to have a place that had worse weather than both London and Dublin combined, and yet there I was.
You remind me very much of some of the ladies I've met in Venice. We ported there for a little while, and Napoli, and it seems.
Lieutenant Dunwoody, just for your future endeavors, perhaps it would behoove you to not compare random women to the kind of women that a sailor might have made the acquaintance of in a foreign port.
Again, you have.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the.
I apologize.
Oh. I understood what
I apologize.
I understood what you meant, Lieutenant, but you will have noticed that the society that you find yourself in is one that is not inclined to give goodwill or the most generous of interpretations to statements. I blame the emigres.
Yes.
So many French people running around England now, just donating their court manners to ourselves.
Is that why everyone reacted so poorly when I called you Mademoiselle?
I
wasn't sure that the French mode was out of favor so far.
Well, I may have been tweaking your nose a bit, Bertie. If you don't mind me calling you Bertie, Lieutenant.
Oh, I far prefer it to what other folks call me.
I suppose when we meet such as this, I prefer Lucy. That is what everyone called me in the parish back when I was growing up. But you would
Lucy, good.
You would do well to perhaps continue to use Miss O'Shannon when we're. To be honest, Bertie, you and I are very much alike.
Yes.
Except I have a slightly better grasp of how this society works. Perhaps it's my native talent as an actress. But I'd vastly prefer something simpler, you know?
I understand, except even in a simple, we find complications. I dare say you wouldn't do well on a ship, even though I think that's one of the most simple places on Earth to be. But that's also because you haven't spent the last 20 years tying and untying things, and stowing things and unstowing things, and ordering folks around, being ordered around. It's very easy once you get into it, but this whole manners, who's related to whom and why that matters.
The Norman invasion?
If only that were so simple. We'd sort it all out in a weekend. No, it goes so far back from that to deal with the Vikings and the...
I doubt very greatly there's any heirs of Ethelred the Unready who is going to show up and demand that they be paid the proper courtesies due to them. Well, Bertie, what is it that we are to do, us two aliens?
I would prefer, if it were possible, to meet on a regular basis so I can have someone normal to talk to in this forest. Metaphorical forest. I can see that it's...
Well, I suppose one could conspire to meet again. Of course, one would have to be careful, or else they would think that some attachment had grown up between the two of us.
Yes. It Would that be bad? Wait, I'm not.
Well, we will certainly meet at the Grancy's ball next weekend.
Okay. We cannot meet at church, you said.
Well, I'm Catholic and not particularly religious.
Right. I'm not particularly religious either. I was raised. My father was a Quaker and my mother's Presbyterian. And out here, where am I going to go? There are meeting houses. That church over there. I have to go with Nora. I
Yes,
wouldn't
but
accept.
I think you'll find that you're still heir to all the rights of an Englishman, whereas the
Right.
English papist is not.
The equality they talk about isn't really very well distributed here, is it?
Good heavens, you thought this had anything to do with equality. You are such a charming naive. Now, Bertie, if you don't mind, I'm going to adjust the cinch on your saddle so that you do not throttle that poor horse on the way back. And I have enjoyed our conversation. Let us find a way to have another one.
Yes, have I. Thank you. Yes. Miss O'Shannon. Lucy.
Well, that's me done. All right, I think that's a good place for that to end. So let's see. So that's Bertie and Percy are done. So Nora, Marmeduke, and Lucy have visits to call. Do we have any bids, ladies and gentlemen?
I guess Marmeduke could call on Nora because he wants to dispel the rumor that they're not on speaking terms, or that he has somehow offended his cousin, because he got, he perceived this cold shoulder from her when they were discussing, like Persephone and Nora were talking or something like that. Or could he have heard the rumor that they're not on speaking terms?
What? No, it was the rumor was that you and Lucy had parted inamicably.
Oh,
but what you
I'm
could
sorry.
pull for a meeting with Nora, because in the last session your character had been pushed by Lucy towards a romance with Persephone, you could express your deep sympathies for Persephone to Nora and ask to know if there's anything at all you can do to help her. Or you could just simply ask Nora more about Persephone, since they were, as your character would well know, once very close, and your character now has a potential desire to be closer to Persephone.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, that's a brilliant idea, and maybe I can then try to. Do I need? So this is a newbie question. Do I need to dispel any rumors? Because I think that rumor about Lucy, maybe I can try to run some counter propaganda saying, well, no, I just heard from Lucy and she's doing very well, and I can't wait for her to come back or something like that. So that people don't think that we are something weird going on.
That sounds like something that you can bring up in conversation, and if that works, then we'll that one's spread, right? No, it's not spread. So
if you were able to successfully counter it by our standards, which are varied, you can certainly make sure the rumor starts to fade. The next time rumor and scandal come around, you can ensure its downfall.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's what I'll do then. Then do I need to make an appointment, Lady Nora? Or I just show up and cousin?
Well, you are, so Dookie is staying with Nora, so it could be something where maybe the rest of the family did not show for a meal period, and maybe it's just the two of us. Or you could certainly ask me out formally on a walk about the grounds, or even somewhere else if you wanted it to be at the club in London. It could be over cards. But
Yeah,
that
why
would have
not?
to be more guided conversation if we're playing with other people.
Before I slip off to London in my coach, maybe I drop by and say, "Dear cousin, what a lovely day." Before I tool off to London, why don't we take a walk on your green pastures?
And Nora, who is probably currently in the midst of a magazine, perks up a bit. I have not gotten out today. That sounds lovely. Let us walk, Dookie.
Thank you. Dear cousin, I've been meaning to ask you. I happen to interrupt a conversation between you and Lady Persephone, and it seemed that I was committing a social faux pas. I just can't shake off that feeling. So, could you please put my mind at ease, or confirm that I indeed committed a faux pas, and then I can go and apologize. Of course, I would apologize to you and apologize to Lady Persephone.
No apology is needed at all. Certainly, it was just something of the moment that needed some attention. Unfortunately, it didn't not quite come out as I had hoped. But that is Persephone, Lady Persephone for you. She is of a singular mind and can be quite stubborn.
So I gather. I reckon I shall be running into her uncle tonight, since he is the host of this event at the Drones Club, and I shall pass my maybe news on behalf of Lady Persephone that she's doing well. Do you think that would be presumptuous?
I do not know the extent of their relationship. I know that Lady Persephone does not think very well of her uncle. Maybe, I think a simple pleasantry would be enough, but no need to go further. But tell me, cousin, you and Miss O'Shannon seem to have ended things on a bad turn. And I just wanted to see if there was something unresolved or something that she might have said to you.
Oh, pish, not at all. Miss O'Shannon and I have no bad blood. I have known her for a few months now, and she can be very charming and very clever. In fact, I just heard from her. She went off to London on an errand, and I had requested her to inquire about a friend in town, and she just responded saying she couldn't trace my friend. I'm a bit concerned about my friend, but Miss O'Shannon should be back very shortly, and I look forward to continuing to chat with her.
Is that a secondary reason for you going to London this evening?
Not at all. I shall not be seeing Miss O'Shannon tonight. My visit is purely for pleasure. I am just bored of the countryside, if I may say so. I just want to go and knock back a few drinks and have a good time at the Drones Club. But I can tell you, I'm not looking forward to running into the Duke Dabbridge Court. He appears to me as the creep of the First Order, and I just cannot shake off this feeling that he's up to something. But in any case, I must get going. My coach is waiting. It was nice chatting with you.
Oh, coming and going so quickly. Well, certainly, I think I shall continue the walk without you then, and enjoy your evening in London. And I hope your friend is well, wherever they may be.
Oh, thank you, cousin. I hope I'm not being rude by not continuing our walk, I just realized that my coachman is waiting, and I want to reach there on time.
Of course, you
Obviously.
must make the post.
Thank you. I shall see you very soon. Ta-ta!
I am never going to get sick of the Drones Club. I am here for the Drones Club. Do you have a visit, Preston, or otherwise I'll do Lucy's.
Give me a couple more minutes. Yeah, go ahead and do
Yeah.
Lucy's.
All right. So tell me, Liam, where does Lucy find Michael O'Shannon when she comes to visit London?
It depends.
Oh, depends.
Yeah.
So many directions.
What time of day is it? Is it morning? Is it evening?
I think it would have to be afternoon.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm dicing in the alley.
All right.
There's a fairly level place in the alley, right? We're on the flags where you can throw dice and it's pretty good. It's not like the cobbles are back there. It doesn't work at all.
Lucy arrives looking incredibly smart. Like, she's wearing a really well tailored, I mean, not that tailored because it's Regency dress. So the whole point was to not be fitted, but she looks quite smart. It's like a nice cut of fabric, and she's got a nice jacket and a hat with flowers, and is holding a parasol and looks down at you. Mr. O'Shannon, isn't it rather early in the day and the week and to be throwing dice for money? For shame, sir, for shame.
Well, you didn't even give me a tenner for this the last week. How am I supposed to eat? You see, I got 3 breakfasts here.
Is there not any place that we could discuss things in a slightly more intimate manner, Mr. O'Shannon?
All right. So you got the King's Head around the corner. You want to go there?
Good heavens. A public house. Very well, it'll have to do.
All
right. So, yeah.
I walk in and they all say, Michael!
Michael! All right.
A full round for everyone. My daughter here's paying.
I didn't come here to see you. I came here to see my theatrical agent, my man of business. I figured since I was in London that I should see how you are doing.
I'm doing fine.
Well, then why were you writing me for money?
Well, I mean, you need money from time to time. This filthy world of ours only lives off of the. If it weren't for the demon Mammon, none of us would need money at all. We'd all live in the pure light of Jesus' love. But sadly,
it occurs to me, Mr. O'Shannon, that you've been more than content to suck the tit of Mammon when you had occasion.
To be sure, but when in Rome?
When in Rome.
It's a shame, I know.
But how are you, Father? Are you well? Are you living all right? You're not on the streets again, are you?
No. God save me. I won't be on the streets again for a little while, depending on the... Look, I had some bad luck a little while back on the dog track.
Well, you don't say. Bad luck. Bad luck. Michael O'Shannon having bad luck.
Yeah, you think how many times can you bet on the same dog and he doesn't come in? But
perhaps you shouldn't bet on dogs at all.
What would you have me do? Dice in the alley like I just was?
Can you not find any honest work?
Honest work? Are you telling me, with all the gentlemen you run around with, that there isn't more than one of them spends his day in, day out, sitting at a gambling table? What's the difference between him and me? Huh?
Oh, the gentleman I run around with, is it? Run around with? What are you saying about your own daughter here?
Oh, I know where you've been.
Oh, and where
I
have
know
you
where you've
been,
been. I know
Mr.
what's going on with
Michael?
you.
Where have you been, Mr. Michael O'Shannon? You're only in England
I
because
was working. I was.
you're,
No. Tell me why I'm here. Huh?
you're only in England because you've outrun the tab on every pub in Dublin.
That's not true. That's a dirty lie.
That's only
I'm only
because
here because.
that's only because the Finnegan burned down.
Well, that and I had to burn it down because that was the price I had to pay. I owed so much money to Jimmy. He was going to break all my kneecaps.
Can you no find any honest work? You've done everything.
If you can give me a little help.
A little help. And what will you be spending it on, Michael O'Shannon?
Don't want money.
Not a marker for me sainted ma, no, never a marker for sainted ma.
Don't you dare say anything about your mother. All I need is an introduction.
Introduction? Who shall I introduce you to? Cardinal Bartley?
Like that's going to do any good in this country. No. There's got to be some well-to-do fop who needs help now and then. I've seen these places they live in. There's thousands below stairs.
The problem is that they'd smell a good shot like you from a mile away, Michael O'Shannon. The only reason you weren't hung as a horse thief 40 times over in Ireland was because a British soldier couldn't find the right Michael O'Shannon to hang unless he painted himself purple.
Lucy Mavarney, what am I going to do? I'd throw myself in the Thames if it weren't a sin.
Hey, they could probably walk across the Thames, let's be fair. I'm prepared, Mr. O'Shannon, to give you the sum of £10 as an indication of my esteem for you and my good fortune at having secured another theatrical engagement.
I couldn't possibly take £10 from you.
What would you do? So what would you prefer? You take £20 from me? Shall I give you 50 guineas and a cottage in the countryside?
No, I just get so. When I think about your poor mom, like all she did for you. Look at the way you take care of yourself. That's all her. It's the way you talk. You walk in multiple worlds. That's all your ma. And here you are trying to give me a little dot on the side. All right, I'll take your £10.
Oh, what a generous spirit you show. You're lucky to get threepence from me.
You always did love your old dad, didn't you? All right, so the £10, and then you also pay for the second round here.
She counts you out £9 and then hesitates and finally drops an actual guinea on top. There you go. There's a bulb for your luck.
Thank you. Can't wait to see you again. When's the next? When's your next show?
Consider the guinea as your payment for not coming to my next show.
Oh, you're gonna keep your own dad out from seeing you perform.
Aye, don't write me before Michaelmas.
All right.
You're looking well, da.
Yeah, the same.
That was a good
You look
visit.
so. Yeah, it was a good visit. Yeah.
I look so what?
You just remind me. I can't too much. But you remind me. I'll just say you remind me.
Silver tongue runs in the family, I suppose.
Yep. It does.
Well, she stands up, drops a crown on the bar, says that should cover things. Good day, Mr. Shannon.
Good day.
Gentlemen. And walks out of the pub.
How dare you make me follow that?
We are two large hams.
Fully cooked, I might add.
Oh yes.
Steamed, even, one might say.
Who does Nora wish to see?
Wait, so was her and Persephone scene, was that Persephone's?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Because she wanted it more. She got her heart crushed. But I mean, if you don't have a scene,
I feel like the
Ben
scene
and stuff. So
I feel like the scene would be in London because her friend wants her to come there to meet the eligible bachelors, but it could be before they run into each other. Who else would have business in London and happen to be on the same post?
I happen to be in London.
That is true. Do we run into each other not immediately after the scene with your father, but shortly after?
I think so. You guys give me enough time to clear the East End. Yeah, so I'm like power walking my way through the streets.
Is it too much into farce if we literally run into each other?
I don't think so.
Okay. So we literally run into each other. Oh, I'm so...
What way are going? Mr. Moria. How unusual to run into each other.
I mean, it's just London. I've heard of wilder things happening.
You have no idea.
You seem a bit out of sorts. Is everything all right?
Oh, nothing. A business matter. I fear I got into a frightful row with my man of business.
Oh, no. Well, I am supposed to meet my friend in a short while, but I had some time. Would you like to take the air with me, or perhaps take a drink?
I'd be pleased to have some tea with you. Yes.
Beautiful. It is about that time. And I think they step into the nearest
reputable tea house.
Yes, reputable tea house.
What brings you to the great metropolis, Miss Dumouriez?
Oh, as I mentioned, my friend, you were unfortunately not acquainted, but she came to the ball you attended with Lady Dabbridge Court. Helena, Lady Helena Coventry.
I did not have much of a chance to make the acquaintance of her grace, but I'm pleased to say that I did share a word with her.
She's very excited about seeing you perform. Have the dates been announced?
Not yet, no. But we anticipate soon, and in the meantime, there are some theatrical performances that I may come back to the city to perform in or attend. One must keep one's craft up, after all.
And does she know? I think she knows. And would Lieutenant... How good has I forgotten his last name? Dunwoody. Would Lieutenant Dunwoody be accompanying you on any of these?
Well, I'm sure the lieutenant is capable of purchasing a ticket if he is so. I admit I have a fondness for the lieutenant, but there's no attachment if that's what you're asking.
And you should be well aware by now that his tongue is. We shall leave it at that.
Like unto an anchor.
Very apt. And he did confide in myself and a few other members of family, no one else, as far as I can tell, about his outing when pressed. I find it quite charming.
Oh, she blushes. I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Very well. I can make an effort to continue my education outdoors and in the matters of riding, if that is something you think the lieutenant needs at this time.
Why, Mr. Moria, I had no idea that in the countryside even the stones had eyes and ears. You'll forgive my small indiscretion. I spend so much of my time with theater people, and there's a forced informality that finds itself into one's other relations if one is not attentive. I assure you I shall do no such thing. Again, I would leave to demean the reputation of your fair town.
Oh no, I do not think that. I do not think that the town needs to be involved in this, and I do not see anything. I do not believe this is advised at all that you should take up with the lieutenant. I feel like it would be a very good match, and I'm certain that Lady Persephone would agree.
Mr. Moray, aren't you a little young to have entered into the matchmaking profession?
It is merely by my power of observance that I come by this conclusion.
Dukey was most horribly chastened that apparently he came across you and Lady Persephone at a contretemps.
Oh yes, we were enjoying each other's company after a thrilling sermon. We were discussing some of the deeper implications of it, and matters turned slightly serious, and that is when he came upon the situation.
Very stirring sermon indeed, I should suppose.
Yes, all about the ills of gambling, if I recall correctly.
The two of you were quite close at one time, weren't you?
We were.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna spend my stiletto wit reputation tag and offer you a resolve token for Lucy, person of the theater, to engage her gaydar.
Gaydar engaged.
I will take it. I thought you were about to succeed at rolling to shut me down.
No. There's no rolling involves chance. There's no chance involved in me shutting you down. Whatever came between such close and intimate friends?
1,000 little things, I think it was. Matters of opinion and breeding, perhaps. The gentry and the peers, they seem with the same world, but times so different.
Yes, I could see where breeding would be a problem.
Yes, that seemed to have been a crux of the matter, and my family has been pressuring me to settle down, and the person that I was currently engaged with, they have left the sunny shores of England, or not so sunny shores of England, as it were, for other climes.
I heard Newfoundland.
And Lady Persephone, there were words that were said that led me to excuse myself from her company for perhaps a touch too long. And I wonder if the relationship has been permanently damaged.
Well, you know, my brother is second lieutenant on first rate in the Newfoundland squadron, as it turns out. If it was possible, I could ask him to find some way to heal the sad breach between the two of you.
My girlfriend who lives in Alberta. Well, that's she doesn't say that much. No, I think that chapter has closed in my life and does not need to be re-engaged. But as you do have the ear of Persephone, I would appreciate any kind words in that direction at this time.
Well, between the two of us, I think Persephone just likes to show me off. It's all right. One expects these things when one meddles with one's betters.
This is Nora going over every instance of her being on Persephone's arm out in public. Perhaps. Tell me of your troubles. This business manager you speak of.
Oh,
I think the scene can fade if it needs to, and that she can make up whatever story she needs.
sometimes it's necessary to spend 10 quid and an extra bob to head off worse trouble. I am informed reliably that such is usually described as a carrying cost. One must... In my position, I have not inherited money nor grown up around it, so I must rely on the good advice and counsel of those I have engaged to manage my affairs.
That can be seen.
Yep. Okay. So, we have to do reputation. I don't know if any of us have any, but I'm sure we do.
This rowdy bunch, we've got reputations, I'm sure.
Just not good ones.
Yeah.
Can't tell if I did anything wrong. Or positive.
Yeah, I don't know.
Acted in contravention of society's conventions, like by having a solo ride together with someone of the opposite gender.
Yeah, but I mean, Lieutenant Dunwoody notwithstanding, like, it's a sailor riding with an actress.
Problem is that you're trying to pass for a gentleman.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Oh, and just in case anyone's wondering, it does not matter if it happened in private. First off, there's no such thing. Not for the gentry. The servants are everywhere. But secondly, a trope of this entire literature was that, your character is always visible to people. They can always just tell what kind of a person you are.
Huh. Could I? Well, I don't think it would be a positive thing, but no, I don't know. It's gotta be negative over here.
Yeah, I was really hoping I would do another double dip, but I just couldn't see where I did anything.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, you paid off your dad. Shouldn't that get you something for upholding
Generous child.
societal norms or something?
Mm,
Yeah.
Well, actually, you're right. Acted in service of duty and morality. I guess nobody would hold it against me that I gave my father money, just that, he was my father. That's what they would hold against me.
Right.
To be fair, I hold it against him too.
You decided to be the child of the wrong sort of person, and
Yeah.
you should be punished for it.
I have an idea. I just need to workshop it to get it down to the right word or short phrase. Thinking something like found out, not so secret love affair.
Discovered.
Discovered.
As the negative tag.
Exposed.
Yeah.
Oh, I like exposed. Yes.
Ooh. So scandalous to be exposed.
Because that implies weakness, which leans more heavily into the negative tag. I like.
I'm gonna go with cold because I sort of rejected your offer of help or friendship. I don't know what else.
Ungrateful.
Yeah, ungrateful maybe. It's more like a stubbornness though. You know what I mean?
I did call you stubborn.
I want to capture that somehow.
Do you already have the tag stubborn?
No. Should I go with stubborn? I wasn't really, well, I guess I could have been, yeah, I was stubborn.
Yeah, you were definitely stubborn. Not to the point of obstinate.
No, I don't think so.
No,
I was just stubborn.
no one taking that bait. Obstinate, headstrong girl. So we're waiting on Marmeduke and Bertie and Lucy to the finish.
I did anchor witted. We're trying to imply that still has the sensibilities of a sailor, though he is trying to be a gentleman.
I found two. One was I thought Marmaduke was quite strategic in terms of, asking Lucy to chase after Celeste, tactfully not responding to his dad. But also tone deaf, didn't quite realize what was going on when Persephone and Nora were having their ta-ta-ta. Seemed like he was also insightful at the same time about the Duke, who seems to be like some sort of a bad apple. And obviously he's spoiled because, he can't even stay in one place. He has to toddle off to London for his drunken revelry at the Drones Club.
Oh wait, you can only earn one of each kind of tag per reputation phase. So don't get ahead of yourself.
I see.
I took a submissive for giving in to my father's desires to have a work-free existence, and salacious for spreading rumors and getting into a screaming pub fight.
Mm-hmm.
So no, you and I both have the same issue, Manny. We have hit our third tags. So on the right-hand side, you'll see those conditions.
Mm-hmm.
In your case, you get to choose one positive, which is one of the top two, and one negative, which is one of the bottom two. And as for me, I'm either broke or I've picked somebody off.
And
Which one do if people,
me too.
if people want to be fractured with me and no longer speaking to me, that's okay. I'll do that. If you need to have an idea of what each one means, just hover over it with your mouse, and there's a little explanatory text.
Oh no!
What are your choices? Oh well, we all have fracture.
I also have fracture. I kind of want to fracture with Nora.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like that's
for you.
appropriate. So I'm gonna click that.
I think I'll take my own advice. Since we've got a fracture going already, I don't want to necessarily triple up on that. Oh God, revenge. Dear God. Would that connection be Mortimer there, Manny?
Oh, the one, Revenge?
Yeah.
I was thinking Celeste.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Nope. Yep. Here for that. Yep. So I guess we will keep Celeste. Then I will take my own advice. An obvious answer is obvious. So I'll just click on broke because it turns out just tossing a guinea towards your old Ba isn't such a great idea. I don't think Lucy was going to get broke over 10 pounds, but there's plenty of things that she can get broke on because it turns out living in the country is extremely just as expensive as living in London, and she didn't realize that.
Yes. Well, if you're to be seen out with me, we need to buy a new dress for every event, of course.
Yep. I just have a feeling that Persephone isn't above presenting a bill to her long-term guest.
Yeah. But I'm like, don't use your tailor, use my tailor, and then I hand you the bill the next time I see you.
There would be a lovely scene if it was where you're putting on the new dress and you're like, but this looks exactly like the last dress. Oh no, it's slightly different. Look at the embroidery. It's a cotton muslin gown, and it is the same. It's the same.
Mm-hmm.
Madame, the ribbon is different.
Did you see the sleeve detail? The sleeve detail, dear.
Is it really? They only have like little cap sleeves.
Yes. Really tiny little thing.
There's a scene in Pride and Prejudice where one of the characters comes in from London and she has long sleeves on, and they comment specifically on the changing fashion in London.
The general fashion was a long untailored muslin gown that was usually tied under the breast for the empire waist. On the continent, these were slightly more elaborate, and the empire waist was actually shaped to a greater degree. And then a jacket, which had a name, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Spencer.
That comes right here below the breast.
Were we wearing stays at this point or corsets already? What was going on?
Depends on your side. Most people know, but some people are.
I think women wore stays, but not corsets generally.
Okay, yeah.
And
that makes sense.
I was just at the Met. There was one particular dress that people were upset with because the woman in question was wearing, it was French style, and she was wearing an undergarment that did a specific thing that enabled the neckline to do another thing, and it was like, oh, it's American, scandalous, but still scandalous.
Yeah.
No.
French are very famous for that.
The American scandal I always remember is at the start of the Age of Innocence, where I think it's the Countess shows up and she's wearing that year's fashion. And that's a huge faux pas because New York always dressed in 2 years ago's fashion. Yeah. I mean, in terms of continental fashion. And it totally makes sense because there probably was a period where America was running about 2 years behind continental fashion.
Yeah. Yankee Doodle. Sticking a feather in his hat and calling it macaroni. Can you imagine?
That's, I think I think the Age of Innocence is set in the 1880s or early 1890s. I forget. I have to read that again. It's a good book. Ward was a good writer. All right. So technically, we're supposed to do a short scene when one gets a reputation condition. It's like a little vignette, just like a little illustrative thing. Like I think for mine, there could definitely be a scene of Lucy sitting in her room at Percy's house, frantic, like looking at bill after bill after bill with rather large sums written on the bottom, and like there's a letter from her father asking for, if you could just see clear to 10, Bob. Like 3 of them, and she doesn't quite know what to do because you could buy lots of stuff on account, but the gentry could buy stuff on account and sort of never pay, but they're going to come after an actress sooner or later.
I would have a scene that would be just a bunch of smash cuts of Bertie and Nora, with Bertie going, but really? Just for a ride? And then again, are you serious? Just one ride?
Technically, you only do that when you get the actual condition rather than just a tag. But it's still a good thing to go into commercial with. So
yeah, well, and I just think that Nora would be saying, no, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. Yeah, okay, you're a dude, but you're not supposed to do that.
But sensitively, because she wants to encourage this, but through the proper channels.
Mr. Dunwoody, we are not France.
We are not France.
Or Venice, and I've heard how you have
yeah, let's not go there.
compared some of the young ladies to those of Venice. I would not suggest that in the future.
Oh.
So, Talia, you as well have a vignette coming your way.
Yeah.
To show how you and Nora are no longer speaking.
So I think we are just no longer speaking, but that night I'm like, maybe you're in the other wing having your vignette and I'm in my chambers and I'm like in my robe and I am looking through the letters to my uncle, and somehow one of our old letters has gotten in there and it's addressed to Percy. And I like in a montage tirade find all of the letters that she sent to me over all of this time and like pile them up in the center of the room. And then I stare at them for a long time and then I throw them in the fireplace. We are no longer talking, and there's no chance. No looking back.
So, Manny, you get to do one to illustrate both your fracture and your in closest confidence. Huh. Who are you choosing to be completely devoted to you and believe you can do no wrong?
I think it would be based on so far how things have gone. It would have to be Nora.
Well, no, it has to be a connection.
It has to be a connection.
Yeah, it can't be one of the mains. Unfortunately.
So confidence. I could do no wrong. My mother, Cassandra Huckleberry.
So maybe you're getting another letter from your mother saying how great everything is going and how she believes everything you're saying about how your courtships are going.
My dear son, do what you will.
Wait, who plays your mom? Do we have someone?
No, we'll do that. We'll do upkeep next time, and we'll sort all this stuff out.
Okay.
But
Cool.
I'm just reading. I'm just sitting at the Drones Club after, a night of at playing cards and drinking, and I'm smoking my cigarettes and blowing circles. Then I see this letter from my mom, and my eyes well up because she has so much confidence in me and so much, she says, "You have so much promise. Marry for love, not for the title or the woman."
May I make a suggestion for the revenge?
Yeah, sure.
It's also a letter, but all that's inside is like the bottom of one of your letters with like that Celeste has. It's just like a section of it indicating she still has the rest, and it at the bottom it just says "Attendez."
Oh my. Yes. And then I frown and go off to get another drink. So I have to drown my sorrow.
Cool. Well, that's us settled. I think it's that time. So this was absolutely lovely, guys. We're well on our way to make a mess of this. But so hopefully hopefully for our poor characters next time, their fortunes will begin to slightly improve, and we'll have some nice terrible mistakes in intention, and then wrap it all up nicely in a bow in the last novel chapter. So until then, folks, this was lovely and charming. Be well and be safe, and we'll see you all next time. Yeah, that George. George Saxe-Coburg Gotha.
Yeah.
They I believe they just went by the house in Hanover.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm a small R Republican. I don't really know these things very well. Mostly it's about who won the collateral descendant of James I lottery. Like, it can be any of your collateral descendants. No, not you Catholics. Anyone else. But that is the short version of the Glorious Revolution of 1688 for those of you playing at home with your English Revolutions scorecard. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I've never been to a Quaker service, so fun fact, Richard
Neither
Nixon.
have I only watched them on TV.
Yeah. Fun fact, Richard Nixon was a Quaker.
Oh.
Yeah, but I don't hold that against them.
Yeah. Far too many things to hold against Richard Nixon than his Quakerism,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. No, I like that. It's like one of the few good things. We're being so mean to poor York. It's a lovely city, I'm sure. So I see that you and I are just locked into a deadly game of the duel of the accents, Liam. Yes, I could see where reading would be a problem.
You get one cat.
Don't I get two bisexual privilege?
Yes.
Drones Club sounds nice, man. Club's great. Even the Russians tried to import the club scene into Russia, but less successfully. But there was a in the War and Peace era. There was a club in Moscow, I believe. That was an English club. It was called, but it's the English Club.